Hi guys, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Yvonne Princess Shabangu. If you are new here, you're welcome to like, subscribe, share, and comment. And voila, you're part of the graceful, the beautiful, and the wonderful family. We are back with another Employment Wednesday video. I hope you guys are securing those jobs. I hope you're setting up your career goals, and I hope it's going well. I'm continuing to pray for you guys. I know it can be such a very tough journey looking for a job, actually. So yeah. In today's Employment Wednesday video, I just want us to, it's just a conversation, right? I just want to break the silence in terms of a certain topic that I know a lot of people struggle to actually convey or struggle to deal with, right? First things first, if you are still looking for a job, I want to give you number one tip, guys. It's important to set standards, right? And once you've set your standards and you've set your boundaries, when you walk into a place of employment, make sure that you've put your boundaries across to your employer and you respect those boundaries, right? I'd make a perfect example. I do not see it logical or actually healthy. Okay, it can be logical, but I don't see it healthy that you can be accepting of the fact that you have to work for 24 hours without rest, or you have to operate from a 1 hour sleep, right? And saying this, I am not saying people should not be hard workers, right? People should work hard, people should be excellent, right? But personally, I feel like we've adapted the culture of abuse in the workplace and covered it in words like excellence, in words like hard work, in words like you have to put in your billable hours, in words like you have to put in your 10,000 hours. Yes, it's important to work hard, but also because there's a very thin line between hard work and being abused in the workplace, especially in the corporate spaces. So you need to put a defining line, and I know that can put you on the firing line if you define it too hard or you are harsh about it, right? It's important to respectfully place your boundaries, right? And here's the thing, guys. I want you guys to understand something. No one will tell you to look after your mental health or your health as a person, especially in the workplace. No one will tell you that. And I think it's already bad enough that generally, as young people, we're not informed, especially about your vitamin C's, your therapy sessions, your counseling. We're not informed about those things. And sometimes we're informed, but we can't afford those things. So it's important that you actually do things that are within your control to actually make sure that you are healthy as an individual, to make sure that you are operating in an effective manner, right? So today's video is all about saying, look after yourself in the workplace. Look after your health in the workplace. Look after look after your life overall in the workplace, right? Because I know, guys, people are going to say, all I need is a job. I don't mind doing anything. And I know desperation can put you in a position whereby you're willing to sell yourself short. But here's the chat, right? If you sell yourself so short, like, okay, guys, I'm going to work 48 hours, no rest, no sleep. I'm not going to take my leave days. I'm going to be underpaid. If you accept all of those things, you're creating a precedent for people that come after before you. After you. After before you. It's because I'm very touched about this conversation. It was so sad. Okay, I'll tell you guys about the story after, right? So it's very, very important that you are aware of your rights within the workplace. You are allowed to take leave days, guys. You are allowed. Don't let anyone guilt trip you into not taking your leave days, right? And every person has an employment contract that stipulates your working hours, the type of job that you're supposed to do. Yes, it's important to go an extra mile if you're trying to get promoted, to elevate, especially as a junior, but don't overdo it. Because also that thing of saying, oh no, go an extra mile, it can also be a way covering abuse, covering mistreatment, covering overworking, covering underpaying, because it will all be covered we'll give you your normal salaries, but because we know that you're trying to elevate and develop, we expect you to be here on weekends so that you can prove to us that you're good enough, or so that as a junior you can get as much experience as possible. That's good, but guys, don't do it at the expense of your health, because it's very sad how a lot of young people, and maybe they don't talk about these things enough, but a lot of young people are killing themselves because of mental health issues, especially by the corporate spaces. A lot of young people are killing themselves because also they realized one thing, that you work so hard and you don't get any credit. You work so hard and you end up being just like any other person, you work so hard and you're not even able to enjoy your money. You work so hard and your mental health is affected, and you're not even paid enough to actually be able to see a therapist or to be able to actually buy your vitamins and all of that to actually help you with fatigue and all of these things. So I'm just here to say, don't let desperation let you sell your soul for money. Because when it's all said and done, guys, you will overwork yourself, you will abuse yourself, you will frustrate your body, you will frustrate your health, and you will die, and you will leave that money, and other people will enjoy that money. After enjoying that money, your body will decay, you know, and after that, your company will replace you within a space of a few days, because I mean, also the unemployment rate is very high. So sometimes you need to put yourself in a position where you put yourself first. And sometimes it's hard, and sometimes it means other people may see you as a bad person. Because I was having a conversation with one of my friends, right? And we're talking about this whole culture of glamorizing abuse in the workplace, right? And covering it with she's excellent, she's a hard worker, she leaves the office at 4 a.m., she's back at 7 a.m. Guys, no, there's nothing healthy about that. There's nothing cool about that, because you can imagine the amount of hours. Let's say you leave the office at 4, you're back at 7. It means you only slept for 2 hours. And if you're going to consistently do that, you know what's going to happen? You're going to crash, or you're going to end up producing mediocre results. And at whose expense? Your health is impacted. You end up producing mediocre results. That very same employer is going to fire you because now you are producing mediocre results. It's important that you rest. It's important that you put your health first, right? And this is me also saying to employers, I think instead of trying to chase quantity, chase quality. And instead of trying to train us to be, I don't know, to behave like we're robots when you're human being, train us to be effective, excellent, and efficient. Meaning you train me good enough or well enough that I'm able to utilize the 10 hours that I have to work for you, or 8 hours that I have to work for you to do the work, you know. Because I can imagine, think about it this way. When you look at it, let's look at it from a female perspective, right? Let's say you work in an environment where you are expected to leave the office at 4 a.m. or you're expected to leave the office at 3 a.m. or you're expected to work very long hours, right? You are young, you are married, you are pregnant. How is that supposed to work? You are trying to fight for a salary, you're trying to keep a home, you're trying to keep yourself sane, you're trying to keep yourself healthy. How is it supposed to work when you only have about 3-4 hours sleep or 3-4 hours time to yourself, you know? So which is why I believe that we can only change the culture. Like, we can only change this precedent or culture, because many of us found this system. We're operating from a system that we found there, and because the system worked for the latter, apparently it's supposed to work for everyone. But when you look at it, does that system work, or it just produces unhappy old individuals that are depressed? Because you can imagine many people, and I don't know, a lot of people can attest to this, many people that are overachievers in the workplace are depressed, and they are not mentally healthy. They are not okay. Most of them suffer from issues, your bipolar, your OCD, there's a lot of issues that they suffer from. Many people that be like that are seen as these excellent people that work so hard end up having to spend at least most of their money that they've worked hard for in hospitals. And I think that's a culture that needs to change. I personally don't appreciate it, and we can only change that culture if we start making small changes, like placing boundaries, you know, and also respecting one another's boundaries, you know. And this goes two-way, you know. If my employer says, hey, listen, in a day, a normal human being can be expected to draft 3 agreements, and in a day I mean your 8 hours of work, and I need you to draft that. And I'm happy on my side to draft that. And then also you need to be understanding that if you're going to require me to work 16 hours, that's a different chat. I can't work 16 hours and be somebody's mother. I can't work 16 hours and be a student, try to develop myself. I can't work 16 hours and be somebody's aunt and be somebody's daughter. And yes, guys, there are people that do this, but trust me, people that do this and are able to do this, they have a lot of issues, and we can't continue glamorizing this whole thing to say, oh no, just because there is a portion of people that are able to be moms, that are able to be overworked, working 18 hours, be a mom, be a wife, cook, be a friend and be all of these things. Just because there's a group, a minority group that's able to do that, it does not make it healthy. It doesn't mean we should continue with that culture. You know, so this is just to say, guys, please be aware when you're searching for jobs, or even when you are employed. It's important that you go over your employment contract, and it's important that you understand your rights as an employee. You know, it's important that you understand that you are entitled to your leave days. When you're not feeling well, you have to be home, like that's that, or you have to be in a hospital, that's that. Utilize your leave days. Don't let anyone make you feel bad for taking your leave days or anything like that, because there's a very thin line, guys. I don't know how many times I'll say this. There's a very thin line, right? And you know what got me thinking, I've realized a lot of people around me, I've experienced people kill themselves because of work. I've experienced people, okay, not people that I may know personally, but you know, somebody knows a friend, and you hear that, oh, so and so has killed themselves, and you're like, what? They were doing so well. Or you hear so and so is admitted, and you know what, you're like, this person looked healthy, this person looked just fine, you know. And so with me, what actually triggered this conversation, and I've been thinking about it for a very long time, if there's one thing that I've always prided myself in, I've always said I want to be a present mom, right? I've always said I want to be a mom that's present, and whatever that I do in my life, you know, I want to get a job that allows me to have that balance. You know, yes, I know some seasons something may struggle, but there is no way you can completely take me away from my family. Like, then what's the point? I'm working hard for them to pay them. And what happens when I can't pay them? What happens when I can't say, oh no, I'm doing this to... Imagine the years you would have lost with your child or with your family, right? When they reach, like, let's say your child, when they become older, you know, let's say they become 25, now they work on their own, they can do their own things, they can pay for their own bills. You've lost 25 years, you've missed milestones, you've missed a lot of things because you were trying to impress somebody so bad, and because you allowed somebody to overwork you. I don't think there's a problem for you to say no, especially when you've done your part, and especially if you're not missing deadlines. You know, yes, go beyond and above and be excellent. But guys, let's teach one another to be efficient and effective, not to say, okay, no, you know what, excellence means working 24 hours. No, that's not what excellence means. Excellence, hardworking means working 24 hours. That's not what it means. I could be seated in that office for 24 hours just on the Wi-Fi, or I could be seated there doing nothing. But I feel like with the generation that comes, personally, when I become an employer, I want to train my staff to be efficient and effective with those hours that they have within the office. If it's 8 hours that they have, I want to teach them how to do everything that they need to do within those 8 hours, so that they're able to go back home and be with their families and be able to interact with the outside world. Because when it's all said and done, work is not the only thing that makes a human being. You know, people end up missing out on important things in life because they're swamped. They're always working and working and working. And the only thing they can think of is, I need to work because I need to make money. But at the end of the day, you end up becoming sick, and you find that that money does not, it's not even enough for you to actually do everything that you need to do, right? So I think it's very, very important that instead of being trained to glamorize being overworked, let's be trained to be efficient and effective with the amount of time that we're given in the office. You know, there's a very, very thin line, you know, between being abused and being a hard worker and being excellent. And oftentimes, if you don't define that line for yourself, you'll be in for a shock, because what then happens is that your employer will be giving you work, you're taking it from your supervisors and all of these things. You're taking all of this work, but no one will ever be like, hey, are you okay? Are you coping? Are you fine? Do you need help? No one will ever do that unless you place that line for yourself. Once you place that line for yourself, yes, it may upset certain individuals, but you're going to have to place that line. You're going to have to respectfully say, okay, beyond this time, I am not doing this. Like, one thing about me, respectfully, Saturday I can do certain things for work and all of that if it's urgent and if it's necessary. But you will, like, Sundays, no, are off limits, because that's when I need to reboot. If I'm going to produce excellent results for you on Monday, then I need to have rested. I need to have had time to myself, you know. So yeah, that's the thing. You need to put defining lines for yourself, and respectfully. Don't be rude or arrogant or you know what. And here's another thing, there's also a very thin line, guys, between placing boundaries and being labeled lazy. Because now when we place our boundaries, we're told, no, we're lazy, we don't want to work, we don't want to do this, this is how things are, this is how we found things. And listen, guys, we can change that narrative. I don't think it has to be that way. We can literally change that narrative, right? And then what triggered me the most, there's one of my colleagues, right? She's a hard worker, guys. Like, her work ethic is on steroids, right? But she's been having these terrible migraines. She's been complaining, I think at least for the past 2 weeks, she's been complaining about these migraines and all of that. And yesterday she just went to the doctor just to get antibiotics, because she's gotten used to these migraines because they've been catching up with her and all of that, right? And she got admitted, and they told her, no, ma'am, no, you're not going to go to work. You just need to take a chill pill. And when she told us this, and she was still willing to come to work, and she was still willing to take our calls to assist us and all of that. And I thought to myself, oh no, this is not good for you, because now you are not well and the only thing you're thinking about is work. And now I'm thinking for her family, I'm like, okay, fine, if you're so concerned about us and so worried about us, what about your family? Right now you are in hospital, you are admitted, and we are here, and the work continues, but you're not here. And should anything happen to you, Aluta will continue, you know. So it triggered me. I was just like, no, man, guys, this is not healthy. We need to learn to place boundaries. We need to learn when to stop. We need to learn when to rest, right? And like, there's something that I wrote down this morning. I just want to read it the way I wrote it, because I was just thinking, no, man, you know. This is what it says: there's a thin line between being abused at work and labeled as hardworking. If you don't draw the line yourself, you will kill yourself. Society isn't always direct, but most times it is actually assisted. Many other times, people will assist you to kill yourself. People assist you to destroy yourself. And this is not by saying, here's a rope, jump off, or whatever the case may be. But this is how they allow you to overwork yourself. They allow you to go through certain things, you know, that they could easily say, okay, no, you can go home at 6 o'clock, or you can go home at 5. Anyway, your contract says you work 8 hours. But they won't say that, because all they want is their empires to grow, right? And which is not a bad thing, but also it's important that you think for yourself. It's important that you draw the lines for yourself, right? Because, guys, literally, we will kill ourselves so young over nothing. And when it's all said and done, the company goes on. You will be gone, you know. So I just want to say, yeah, let's look after ourselves. Let's know when to stop. Let's prioritize our rest so that we produce good, excellent results. And I plead with employers, put in systems that are in place to enable your employees to efficiently and effectively work within the allocated hours. Because there's a reason why you would put on a contract 8 hours. I mean, you could easily put 16 hours a day, you know, because maybe you know that a person wouldn't finish the work within the 8 hours. But since you figured out 8 hours is all a person needs, then place systems that will allow that person to actually work within the 8 hours, as opposed to actually being overworked. Because, guys, it's not nice. It's not really nice how there's a lot of people that are depressed. There's a lot of people that are going through a lot of health issues because of overworking themselves, right? So yeah, don't sell yourself short. I don't want anything happening to all of you guys. I really want everyone to get a good job and a good working environment. But equally the same, I want and I pray that people have balanced lives. You know, don't cover abuse in the workplace or cover being overworked with excellence, because it catches up with you eventually. It's going to catch up with you in your old age. It's going to sometimes it catches up with you sooner, you know, because also sometimes we genuinely don't have good health choices. The next thing, you're stroking because you're not sleeping enough. I've had a conversation with one of my girls whereby they had to quit a certain job because their doctor actually told them that you're at risk of getting stroke because of the amount of work hours you put in. And it was sad to hear, you know. And imagine now you are working on, like, you're in fear. Oh my God, what if something happens to me? Like, yo, guys, this topic actually touches my heart so much. I'm just here to say, you really need to learn to place the boundaries for yourself, because no one will place the boundaries for you. Like, it is what it is, you know. Anyway, without wasting any much of your time, do not forget to be loved, don't forget to be liked, and do not forget to share those job posts with one another, and do not forget to actually create work environments that are healthy and work environments that enable people to work efficiently and effectively, you know. Yeah, God bless you. Happy Employment Wednesday.